So there's an old saying here. Let's wait for this cars to go. I'll tell you that old saying in a second. Oh man. Wow. So there's an old saying, which is that you can lead a horse to drink. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. You can lead. Oh, this is a good one, especially for relationships and dating. Because a lot of people get bummed out if someone doesn't like them or doesn't call them back or doesn't text them. But what you got to realize is that concept of you can lead a horse to water. You can lead that girl or guy to here, like the park. You want to meet up at this park, you lead them up to this place. If they want to come, great. If they don't want to come, that's fine. Or if they want to come and ultimately don't like you, or you have no connection, you can say that you led the horse to the water. You led that person that you desired, and offer that opportunity for them to either like you back or achieve or help you achieve the goal that you want to achieve, which is getting a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever you want to get. But you can't get bummed out if things don't work out, because you did your part and they didn't do theirs. And you can't really count on other people to do their part, because they're supposed to be worried about themselves. Why are you gonna, you have enough to worry about on your own. Why would you worry about other people? And that's not to say you can't offer to help them and offer them guidance, but don't get caught up in that, caught up in the rejections and the naysayers and the haters and the people that tell you no. Because one thing that you're gonna learn if you get, especially into the higher ups in the world, or the high positions and stuff that you read about, if you read the stories of the greats in whatever field you may be, think of, for some it may be acting, some it may be engineering, business, whatever field you might be thinking about, is that they had to learn how to deal with one word, and this one word was no. You're gonna hear that a lot, especially if you're trying to, you know, enter these high positions, these high leadership roles with offering these huge salary and huge bonuses. It'd be foolish if you expect everyone to say yes, to accept you everywhere you go, because if you think about it, those things that offer the highest reward are not supposed to say yes to everything and everybody, because they wouldn't be exclusive, they wouldn't be rare. People wouldn't flock to them like they would. People wouldn't go to the high-end nightclubs or playoff basketball games, even though the prices may be super high, and that might send people away. But that scarcity that creates that high barrier of entry, that high price per ticket, creates value, which is something that is quite desirable in this world, that scarcity. So if you have that business that you can ultimately hire a bunch of people, normal everyday people, there's no knock on that, but for those higher roles, those jobs that have a big demand, that require a lot of skills and expertise and specialty, you need to have those barriers of entry, that's whether it may be a master's degree or a PhD, to keep only the best in, the people qualified for those roles. So here we go, we're gonna stop because we got so much noise. Hold up, let's see. Thank you. We're almost gonna get hit. Let's get back in the sidewalk. Hi. So that's scarcity. That's one thing. I don't think there's too many people out on the streets running and juggling. So that's one thing that draws me to it, is that based upon the rarity of it, how unique I may think of it or other people may think of it, is what draws me to it. I'm drawn to the unique or abnormal or weird because, and in life you may want to be weird. You don't want to be, blend in with the crowd and be another head in the crowd. At least for me, I for one want to stick out, and in not a sort of show-offy way. Look at me, I have all this, I do all this, watch me. No, I want to do what makes me happy, what I like to do. And oftentimes it may not be what the crowd is doing. It may not be what the average person or average Joe is doing, which is fine with me. I don't mind being the outlier or the outsider that people may frown upon or look at funny, because there's no knock on that. Whether what reaction I may get, whether it may be a smile, a laugh, clapping, whatever, you got to realize that throughout, you got to be that rock that stays through the course. No matter what happens, you keep running, you keep going, you hold that same face that you've always had, those same feelings that you've always had. Why change them when people ultimately give their 2 cents or their opinions of you to you? Whether it may be hate, it could be love, which love may be a great thing. It may push you forward. I let it push me forward. I take it as greatness because, it doesn't hurt for people to give you a compliment and stuff, and you want to do that. You want to give other people compliments. But when people, unfortunately, not all the time, don't do that, they send the opposite message, which is one of, you're weird, I don't like you, why are you doing that? And I don't want to come across as a evil person or selfish, entitled, narcissistic person. But one thing that I heard that David Goggins, example of him, there's one thing that he heard from a quote-unquote hater when he was out running in, I believe, Arizona in the desert, and it was like 100 and something degrees, and he's out there running in the middle of nowhere, and he would barely see any cars, and shockingly a car came by and lowered its window as he was running this, I don't know, 100 and something mile run that he runs, because he runs these ultra marathons that are extremely long, that are rare. And someone rolled down the window and simply asked him a question, and they asked him, why are you doing this? Why are you running out here in this weather? Which is not exactly what they said, but that's what they implied. So why are you doing this crazy thing that people, the average guy, isn't doing? And David Goggins responded with a quite simple statement that resonates quite strongly, and some may take it the wrong way or look at it some sort of arrogant saying, but he responded this. When the guy asked him, why are you running? He said, because you're not. And that hit home with me. That made me realize that not everyone that may agree with what you're doing, those people that question you and doubt you, what you come to realize is that those people can't do what you do. If you're a singer and you got people, when you're first starting out especially, or even when you made it, they're booing you on stage and making fun of you and asking you, why are you doing this? You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna succeed. And what they'll realize is that singer will realize that those people in the crowd, those haters, they can't sing like this person's singing. They're afraid to get up in front of audiences and be vulnerable and subject themselves to other people's opinion, because that's what separates the singer from the crowd, from the hater. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a knock on the crowd. You know, to say that the people in the crowd are below them, but what you come to realize is perspective. You want to be, if you're a singer, you want to be the guy in the crowd watching a band. You want to be the security guard handling everyone. You want to be the stage hand packing up and setting up equipment. Not necessarily because someone argued that it sucks doing all that, but in essence, that's the reason why. It gives you perspective, makes you see what they see, makes you think how they do for that split moment. Because when you are not in those positions anymore and you encounter people like that, you can reflect and have a greater sense of wisdom and knowledge to handle those situations and feel greater sympathy for those people when you encounter them. So that person, that hater that you encountered, that's either making fun of you or putting you down, probably wasn't a singer themselves and doing those things. Because even those people that may not disagree with your work and were the singers, they're probably not going to be the people that are hating on you, they're making fun of you. Those people have better things to do with their lives. They're too busy singing or performing or doing whatever. So with that in mind, don't concern yourself with haters or naysayers or people that may have this negative opinion of you that you didn't ask for, that, yeah, and even if that you didn't want. So why should you care? Did you ask them for their opinion? No. And at least for me, after a while, I used to get annoyed by the criticism or not want it and put it aside, but now I've come to realize they actually acknowledge it. I let it into my life. Because sometimes it can teach you what you're doing wrong, what things about you that you didn't realize, because although it's good to receive positive reassurance and affirmations, sometimes the criticism can be constructive and guide you and make you realize what you're doing wrong and make you a better singer, actor, entrepreneur, whatever you want to be. So walking that line between the haters and the critics. Critics is who you want. So you want the people telling you what you're doing wrong and right.